All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're doing something a little bit quirky today. In my pursuit of maybe doing an overview eventually again for weapons, though it probably won't happen until after the next patch, we're gonna do a somewhat masochistic stream today. We are doing really any character that can hold pistols, but we're doing pistols only. So what does that entail? We do actually have quite a few pistols, and we will say it technically is a pistol. So we're gonna call the M79 a pistol. It might not be a real pistol, but it's a pistol in our hearts. And probably one of the first things we should probably do is get more of those. We're gonna be probably leaning on those a lot. Now, the downside is the pistol still has the issue, right? It does tend to, or the grenade launcher pistol still tends to just not proc a lot of the time. So there will be a lot of pain and suffering today. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Let's go over here and do it this way. Show me M79, because we only have one left, and I'm sure I'm going to die today. So I want to start gathering a few more here and there. Give me the quest. We're going to need so many of them. Hey, Prob. Yeah. There we go, aerial scavenge. At least on the plus side, right? We get like 5 million rounds of 9mm we can use, because they sell 1,000 per reset. So like, I don't think we're gonna have any ammo issues at all. Also, let's go over to Gorilla, because I know Gorilla sells like all the pistols in the game. Aramaki has none. Watch Aramaki sell like a Makarov next patch. Hey, Benjamin. Oh no, only pistols. Submachine guns are not pistols. That'd be, though, I mean, technically we will be using the Glock, and the Glock will basically be our SMG. Let's the Grillo. Make sure I have all of the pistols available. Weirdly enough, we'll have to see, in a field of 9mm, does 357 reign supreme? You don't sell any pistols, do you, right? Yeah, you don't. Alright, so the big thing here is, right, we have basically our, like, only way of killing heavy units right here. In regards to silencers, right, I think most of these can't equip silencers. I think the 45 can, though. The 45 might be our bread and butter here. It being a one-shot kill to the head in most instances. Let's try not to lean on the grenade launcher pistol just yet. So we're gonna have our basically what can be considered, get my good rig out, what can be considered our SMG in the Glock. We'll bring like 500, and we'll bring our 45. We'll bring like 100. We'll do multiples of 10 or 20 or 12 rather. And then let me go talk to Heisenberg. And so, like, I'm guessing the Glock will be our main armament most of the time, and the USP will be our, like, sneaking around weapon, because the Glock will actually give us the ability to, like, deal with hordes. Hey, Sith. It's going well, Seth, thanks. Yeah, we're doing pistols only. This will be interesting. We'll have to see how this goes. I was like, what should be the gimmick today when I was waking up? I was like, oh, let's try pistols. I haven't gave pistols an honest chance. And I'm not sure they're worth a weapon slot. Like, that's the biggest issue, right? Is like, right now, the only use case for pistols is for like people who can't use grenade launchers to have a grenade launcher. And I'm not entirely sure if pistols should be in their own slot or just like a dedicated slot you get. Okay, so we need drone components, which makes me feel like we're gonna do Mesa. Sure, that all works. And we are, at least on the plus side, level 20 Shaman. So we're gonna be really freaking fast. That will be our saving grace here. Thanks. Thanks. I mean, it's just like, I never actually utilize pistols at all in the game, except for occasionally the M79, so like, I need to get a bit more, I need to get a better feel for all of them, right? I'm pretty sure all of the unsilenced 9mm suck, but... Like, there's not much reason to bring a pistol in right now, right? There's so many pistols that just, like, do not have a use case.
Let's not waste it.
I mean, he's wearing, what's it called? He's wearing, like, a thing on his head, right? He's wearing, like, a data stream on his head. He's, like, a high-tech guy, right? He's, like, a cyber warrior. There's gonna be a lot of waddling today with the movement here. Let me turn the hut back on, too. There we go. I think most of this guys are augmented in some way, but yeah, he is like wearing. It could be his eyes too. Like he's had his eyes changed out to be this like front visor. Now the biggest thing here is going to be definitely making sure we hit our headshots with this USP. Don't think any of those are important at all. I definitely do hope they fix, like, it would be cool to actually have chase items in the game. Right now, there's really not. Did I see a tank trying to fly? Yeah, it's there. All right, is there a sniper lord down there? He is. Right, he is dead. I need his shit though. That will probably kill me. I mean, I have a decent amount of health. Well, I mean, if he doesn't kill me, that Max certainly will. Ow. Thank God I brought a jump. That might not be escapable if you don't have a jump. It's a pretty deep hole. Alright, we're looking for the DMR on his inventory. He did not drop it. That's very unfortunate. I actually do want to kill these drones. Yeah, this is definitely safe. Hey, it's Schizo. Alright, there we go. I'm not sure if killing drones there is particularly safe. Let's head up over to here. They really, like, they're annoying, but like annoying in a good way, right? Because they're like an actual, they're both like low threat and high threat at the same time. They're generally not too dangerous on their own, but they have this tendency, right, to just like escalate fights out of control. Or pull you into fights that you weren't expecting to be fights. Alright, so we can check bunker, can check the backside of carrier, and then we can check... Sounds like a job for Bagman. I feel like there needs to be some modifications for Bagman so he can like use two pistols at once. With like one finger. Like wait, what's it called? He uses like those double barrel pistols. I mean, not really. I don't think anyone brings pistols outside of just like the M79 without like, if they were trying to like be efficient with their build or the weapons they're using, The only area where you would actually bring a pistol, right, is the M79 for like a person who can't use a regular grenade launcher. Yeah, I'll bring them occasionally just for vibes because they look cool, but like they're all kind of yeah, I could see like the biggest thing right now is a lot of weapons are mainly more dictated by the caliber than the actual weapon themselves. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue today. Ow, ow, where the fuck did you all come from? Was that not silenced? I thought that was silenced. That was a lot of units for... Hold on here. I could have... Is the USP silenced not silenced? Hold on, I'm actually curious now. Maybe we forgot to... We may have forgotten... No, we had a silencer. We definitely had a can at the end of it because I couldn't see my sights, right? Hold on, I'm now curious. Is the USP silence not actually silenced? Alright, we have one with a... Let's see here. Maybe, yeah, that's a USP. It's the same setup too. Let's bring a Glock. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, it's weird. Like, it felt... So, when you shoot something without a silencer, it will aggro everything nearby. But if you shoot something with a silencer, it should only aggro the squad. But we definitely pulled 2 squads there. Goodbye, meds. So I'm curious, like... Let's go, try to get it. I'm gonna see if I can aggro things without, like, or the silence USP. Oh, I will say, too, they didn't fix the thumbnails for the pistols either, though. Though considering how, like, an afterthought they are, right, it does make sense for them to be low priority. More silencer, yeah. Silencer. Nah, we need to see this, because, like, I mean, it could just been some jank, too. Usually speaking, like, yeah. So it doesn't have a suppressed sound effect. That's the biggest thing, but that usually doesn't matter for the most part. It could have been proximity, perhaps, because they were right on each other. There was a lot of guys there. Yeah, UE5's a bit rough, though. They did say they're ringing a guy for that, though. Okay, I mean, it's at least silence in the sense that, like, it's not pulling anything nearby. Oh, God. The... Gabe. There we go. I think a lot of the drones have some desync in their hitboxes, which is why that happens. Where'd the corpse go? Oh, it went all the way down. Wait. What? Am I blind? Did it despawn immediately? Gabe? What the hell? I needed that. Yeah, it could have been like proximity to, like, they were right on top of each other. There's gonna be a lot of screen shake today. I need to put you on full auto too. You don't start full auto. There we go. Wait, where did that one go? Are you up here? Are these despawning immediately? What is going on? I actually didn't see that one. I was busy looking at my full auto or my switch indicator. What's going on though? Why are they despawning immediately? Come here, you. Okay, there you are. Don't you despawn. I need your stuff. There we go. Maybe they just like fell into the ground and I just couldn't see them anymore. That one was pretty deep. Oh, there. No, I'm just literally blind. Okay. They're just like hard to see because they're half submerged in sand. I need some meds. Yeah, there's definitely like a factor too with Scorched Enclave because it's like the first map you go to. You kind of like don't want to leave it because you're like you get familiar with it and you're like, this is safe. I know the routes on this map. And when you get to other maps like Mesa, you're like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff going on, the size, and like where to go. And the biggest thing with Mesa too, right? You get to get like used to like running by things. Hey, Phoenix. Like, you definitely think running by those mechs would be a death sentence, but it's really not right now. And now, because I said that, I'm going to die immediately. The secret is being small. Occasionally. It depends on if they're preoccupied. So typically speaking, the rule of thumb is units are safe to run by as long as they are currently fighting something else. So if the cyborgs are busy, like, already fighting another unit, you are pretty much safe to run by them. I mean, why not? It's the problem is, like, when you start running by units when they're not currently fighting something, is things get pretty squirrely pretty quickly. And there are some units too, like the mechs and the tanks and so on and so forth, that will generally just ignore you no matter what. Now let's go over to the lock. Not any better. I think the drones have some hitbox issues when they're in like their idle state. Gabe, please. There we go. Thanks, Yodes. Yeah, it's like the shotguns and the pistols, yeah. Really? Alright, that one despawned in front of me. That's not on me. It seems to go away when they're aggroed too, at least some of the time. I don't know, it depends on the, like, yeah, it just seems like there's, like, their hitboxes are very desynced. Alright, anyway. It doesn't help too. It's hard to tell too because the game can gaslight you sometimes with with the irons. Because the irons are not remotely accurate at all. It's what's like also kept me from wanting to do like another weapon review. Is like I want to wait till the weapons are actually all like functional to see how I feel. Because there could be like a bunch of actual weapons right now that I don't use or people don't use because like they're janky as shit. But they're actually quite good when you can actually shoot with them. There we go, we got our stuff. Leave me alone. Where do I need to aim to shoot you? Where do I need to aim? There we go. Most chill to hang out with. I mean, the exo pilots seem pretty chill. Oh, I'm bugged too. How did I didn't even loot anything. How do I bug myself? Lovely too, yeah. There we go, we're fixed. Probably the pilots, right? Because they're willing to just join up after you take them home. The European pilots seem super chill. They're basically one step away from being a scav. It seems like that's honestly like most Europans for the most part. They're just like one step away from being a scavenger.
Must take a moment to appreciate the good things.
What are the good things, Shaban? Is it the Glock or the USP? I'm interested too, right? One thing I can definitely see is the tanks are a bit derpy. Like, so if you ever like have watched a vehicle combat in this game, the tanks and the vehicles can be quite derpy with shooting and like their aim and so on and so forth. But like, if the AI ever felt fixed, I could definitely see scenarios where tanks just roll over almost everything. At least in their current quantities. Like right now, a lot of the maps feel like the tanks, like there's usually like 5 tanks and like 1 or 2 mechs per side. And those tanks do a lot of damage. Like the main problem is the tanks don't shoot very often. They take a while to aim and shoot. But if they were like anywhere close to IRL tanks, those mechs would get like demolished consistently. The only area where like the mechs would make more sense is like in urban combat. Or like very difficult terrain like this, right? Like I think there needs to be like more difficult terrain around, right? Because it justifies mechs a lot more than tanks. All right, USP time. Though we probably want to melee these guys too, right? These little crawly guys are actually kind of resilient. I don't think they have hitboxes, basically. Like regular cyborgs, you can one-shot to the head. But those ones just don't die. Yeah, I can definitely see too, like, coordinated haul down tanks just destroying mechs in like one fell swoop, because like those mechs are armored, right? But like getting shot by 5 different tank shells at the same time, especially with like European tanks or European mechs being the way they are. So this does one-shot headshot the cyborgs. The problem is like it doesn't seem like it headshots consistently. Are we full? Yeah, we're full. All right, one more large item slot thing. Hello.
Patience is a virtue.
But it would be really cool, right, to see combined arms to deal with that. Like, say, for example, like, on this particular map, Europe is assaulting the city against defensive forces from Eruska and Eurasia. It'd be cool to see, like, haul down T-90s, just, like, shredding mechs. But, like, maybe they have artillery, or maybe even the crawler fires, right? For Europa, like the giant crawler. Well, so the booze is canon now. Basically, the booze is for the cyborgs to, like, feel less shitty. Because they're all basically enthralled cyborgs from Eurasia. Like, it's not of their free will. And then the organs, just because, like, apparently organs are a big trade in the game. Exactly right, but like I can see scenarios, right, where you have this combined arms warfare from Europa assaulting the city, so like you maybe have some like It could be a reason too why you might see skirmishes on maps be only infantry, because like they're trying to, like, that'd be cool, right? So say for example you have like defensive fortifications for T90s and, you know, Russian infantry, and then you literally have your Ruska, or sorry, your Europa just sending in infantry waves to try to help clear that out before they send in the big boys to clean up. They could just do shock and awe too with like medium mechs and just like a plethora of them, or just other things like, you know, air weapons or carriers. But like, yeah, it definitely feels like tanks should just absolutely demolish mechs in open field combat. We kind of do. Well, I mean, I think, well, so Aramaki is Eurasian, but he's mainly the he's mainly Euruscan selling stuff right now. I think Eurasian's supposed to have more high-tech stuff, which is probably why we don't have a vendor for them yet, or if at all, right? They were talking about like more high-tech weapons too, and Eurasia probably would be that. All right, so you're also 45, right? But you just don't have the ability to do a silencer. I cannot stress this enough too, like an unsilenced pistol in this game is like a death sentence right now also, but you do have a flashlight, which is awesome. Yeah, these are all 9 mils. I do think, hold on, we're gonna try the 3-7. I know it's kind of a meme because I make fun of it all the fucking time, but with the headshot changes, this might not be terrible anymore. It's probably not good though, to be honest. Let's give it a trial by fire too. It's a sawed-off grenade launcher, so. Oh yeah, the T90. So yeah, they just like love going in circles, doing burnouts, and throwing smoke grenades around. So where are you? So yeah, this is the M79. It is a grenade launcher. It's the Thumper, yeah. Both it and the regular grenade launcher have an issue right now. The XM25 gets around it for some reason. I don't know why. Where these will occasionally just not proc the explosive damage of the grenade, which is basically all of the damage of the grenade. So if you're unaware, basically there's two damage modes to like a grenade launcher. There's the 1k impact grenade, so like when you hit something with a grenade, it does 1k damage just from the impact alone. But right after that, there will be an explosion, or should be an explosion. And that explosion starts currently at 10k and tapers off to I think 1 or 2k at like 7.5 meters or somewhere around there. Basically, it's supposed to do basically 11k. To the target it hits, it's supposed to do 11k. But for some reason, with the grenade launcher and the Thumper, it will just not proc that explosion damage for some reason. Which is why you can get really inconsistent results of like how many shots you need to kill an XO. For an XM25, it's always 4 because it does all the explosion damage. For the other ones, it can, you know, be 4+ because it's so hard to tell when it actually procs. Yeah, I love the T90 physics. I imagine they're gonna fix them eventually, but it's fun to see right now. T90's drifting around, popping smoke, getting flung into the air. And I think a lot of it has to do too with the current AI model for a lot of the enemies, is that their current pathing model just has them instantly collide. So for right now, like most of the AI, and which you notice you can't notice it, is like when they aggro to you, they like basically only have one mode. They walk towards you, and if they can see you, they will shoot you. And that applies to like every enemy in the game, even when they're fighting NPCs. So what will happen, right, is you'll have instances where like you'll have, say, the T90s and the Merkavas, though they're probably the more better off than the rest, is they generally don't run into each other all that often, but the mechs are the worst for it. You will definitely see a lot of the times mechs kiss, because they'll just walk into each other and continue firing. So when you have these mech versus mech battles, it will often always end with the two mechs right next to each other, just shooting each other in the face over and over again. Oh yes, the hovering. I mean, it kind of is supporting it, I guess, though. Thanks for the follow, Halo. All right, let's. So this is elite, so it should not one-shot him if I recall correctly. Yeah, it will two-shot him. Elites are weird, so elites are pretty beefy. Most things that one-shot regular troops will not one-shot elites. Yeah, Quell, so like the current thought, I would be surprised to see one this week, maybe at the end of the week. I'm guessing, I would guess end of next week. That gives them enough time to like actually hotfix things without having to like bleed over to Christmas week. So Halo, you're gonna want, I'll show you after this raid, you're gonna want to go to Grillo and go to attachments and go to muzzle. And also make sure you deselect hide incompatible, because for some reason that will hide it. But you basically only get silencers from Grillo. Yeah, it's not, so as we have learned from like no buying runs, there is like an infinitely small chance of getting one in raid, but like you can go hundreds of raids without seeing one. So there is a drop pool for it, it's just basically impossible. You might get one out of like 100 hours. Hey, zombie. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, don't worry. It's definitely a pain point for sure. You like, the game feels infinitely different without a silencer. Yeah, interestingly enough though, like most silencers don't have weapon levels attached to them, so like you can usually do it on all weapons for the most part. Yeah, like your regular assault rifles like the M4, RPK, and AK can all do it natively. Yeah, we'll have to see. Like, apparently they've taken down their AI job posting for a guy, but like that was maybe like only a month ago. So I'm sure there'll be some onboarding and it'll take some time. Like we probably wouldn't see any massive AI improvements till like next quarter, if that. So 3 shots to the head, if I can hit them. There's always that RNG with it. There you go. It's always so hard fighting these MG34s. Futin. No, why not? Yeah, I noticed it too, actually. If you've played Stalker 2, before their big patch, the enemies actually functioned exactly like that too in Stalker 2. So I wonder if it's just like this weird quirk out of Unreal Engine 5 they need to fix. Because Stalker 2 fixed it, actually. Oh yeah, Gear. Yeah, for sure. They want to like, they want to make sure raids don't only feel like just enemies. They want to make the game feel like a living world. Oh, it looks more like it's almost like like the recoil from getting shot. Map traders are more map neutral units. Like it's just like seeing other things existing in the world makes it feel more lived in. Like for example, it'd be interesting too to see like maps where like you might not always see an enemy presence there, or like you might only see like skirmishing units for the enemies, but it's mainly like a map for like multiple different factions to be on. You can walk up to Rat King. You will be fine. Just don't get stepped on. That's the biggest threat with Rat King, is him just not caring about you and stepping on you. But no, he's friendly. He will never shoot you. So he is a BFF until he steps on you. No, Rat King is friendly to the faction. Rat King is basically a scavenger. He's a de facto scav boy. Like, he will never target you. He like, even if you're, so with like medium mechs, like, you can be by them for a long time. Eventually they will aggro and start murdering you. Rat King will never aggro, because like, if you hover over Rat King and hit Z to highlight him and tell him his name, he's actually green to you. He's not red. He's a friendly scav unit. It's why we worship him too, right? He is our pariah, or I guess not pariah, but our god. Yeah, like the only way Rat King will kill you is from collateral damage, which will happen. Oh, it's gonna fucking hurt. I think these are still one-shot headshots. Yeah, thank God. No, I mean, just trying to hit headshots. There we go. I think I don't think we know for sure, but I think it's a pretty universal, like, there's never lore dumps in this game, right? So we don't know for certain, but like, the consensus seems to be like the Rat King is an AI. Artificial intelligence, a rogue one. Now, there's a guy and occasionally that will come talk to us, named That Guy, and he has alluded to the fact that he works as a QA for Fundog. Now, we can't verify if that's true or not, so take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. Like, it could just be some guy punking us, but it's fun to talk about it, right? Like, just be mindful, like, this is not canon. This could be a guy just trolling us, so just be mindful of that. But according to him, the giant thing on the Rat King's back, covered by a tarp or a canvas, is a fungus. Basically like a fungus that kind of has like basically revived the mech. And so this, like, I'm guessing the AI of the mech and this fungus have formed like a symbiotic relationship where like the fungus keeps the mech alive with biofuel or fuel for its reactor, I guess. And then the AI, I guess, runs the main thing. So like, it's kind of this weird relationship basically, right? But because the mech needs to scavenge for things to keep it alive, it's kind of a scavenger in its heart, I guess. Something along those lines. But if we see Rat King 2, I'll highlight it, but apparently the giant bulbs on his back, covered by a tarp, is a fungus. So I guess the order of events, right, is the mech gets knocked out, a fungus grows on it, covers the core of the mech, if it has a core, which essentially like reseals it for repairs, so it can start again, and maybe it restarts from that, perhaps, or maybe it gets kick-started by that. AI's back online. Yeah, fungus spot. Technically a looted mech, basically, in a way. Theoretically speaking. Naturally, we don't know, but, you know, theory-wise. Yeah, it kind of like, it makes sense too, right? Funguses do a lot of weird shit. Isn't there like a fungus too that can like feed on nuclear radiation also, or something like that? Am I crazy? But like, yeah, funguses will feed on anything. You give it enough time, there will be a fungus for it, right? Like, where do you have microbes eating plastics now too? Remember too, like back in the day, right? Like, I say back in the day, back when I was a wee lad, no, like back forever ago, right? Remember, like before there was like things to eat wood or eat plants, there was giant forests and giant just like dead forests everywhere. It's like, you know, trees would like, you know, grow and die of old age or get toppled by winds or so on and so forth, right? And because nothing could digest that floor of like wood or debris, it would just pile up and pile up and pile up. And it took that plentiful resource and to make something to actually develop the ability to break it down.
Found underground.
So in this like nuclear winter, right? When your most available resource is metal and like fuel for like reactors, or just the reactors themselves, it would make sense things would like basically adapt in a way to take advantage of that. I mean, Jado, I don't think that's on purpose though. That's just you know, dystopian future. The microplastics. All right, so I will say, like, outside like the jankiness of having to aim down sights with silencers on your can at the end of your can, like, it's not bad, right? With the headshot changes, R8's actually like mostly one-shot enemies now, so it puts it up with the 45s. Like 9mm will never like one-shot I think anything except for maybe the lowest tier cyborgs that get one-shot by everything in the head. So like 357s, outside of like the really shitty aiming with them, it might be a lot better now than just 9mm, because it has a silencer and it does like one-shot most infantry. All right, now let's bring the fun boy. I just still can't find a use case though for like the unsilenced pistols in the current game. It just aggroes so much to you. So like this is 12 rounds. Can I customize you at all? I guess there is a better magazine for that. It's 15 rounds. So like you can have this cool pistol with all this cool stuff. Oh, you do get a silencer. Which is the one that doesn't get a silencer? I think it's the Viper. Where are you? Yeah, the Viper. Viper has nothing at all. 17 rounds, 9mm damage. Yeah. And then I guess these two. The SOG does make sense, like if it was like a really cheap pistol, right? This is 45. Yeah. And the poor C96. C96 I think eventually gets it has a flashlight, and I think it also gets an upper rail or upper receiver that you can actually put an optic on, but it's not natively unlocked. All right. Let's try to use different target. So we'll bring yes, about 9mm. Bring a little bit of 40mm. The problem is too, because of like the proc issue with grenades, you can't really rely on them in combat because sometimes those don't proc. Let's do a mausoleum. Hey, wobbly. Yeah, it sucks, right? Because like you have the Baba Yaga, which is supposed to be like the John Wick pistol, but because it has no mods at all, and because like it's, I imagine, right, the eventual intent for that pistol is to be like very nice handling, but all the pistols are just painful right now. Like, if the Baba Yaga pistol was like no recoil or little like recoil and like really easy to control and like was pretty accurate, I could see it having a use case. So if like most pistols were kind of mid, and like then you had the Baba Yaga, which had no silencer but like had really good handling, it could make up for it. Let's kill some cyborgs. I'm kind of curious too. I find it like really weird. Yeah, we do not one shot to the head with this thing. I find it really weird how like the whole thing with the misaligned sights even arose. It just feels like I'm trying to think of like how that would happen, right? How everything's so misaligned. A real melee weapon I would love a lot because it sounds really cool, especially with an actual melee system. Like we have like bayonets, right, on the MG34, and we can have bayonets for more guns, so like it sounds so cool to have a melee system, but at the same time it's probably the last thing they should probably work on in regards to everything else. Like in regards to priority, I think it should be like almost one of the last things to work on a melee system, but it would be cool. The one thing I do want to see, though, is definitely more synced animations between units. All right. Like, they can make up for, like, imagine this, right? So right now, you'll have instances where, like, the two medium mechs for Europa and Ureska will just, like, walk into each other. What if, like, when they got to that state, it would start, like, a synced animation between them where they would fight? Or maybe, like, it was a chance for it, right? Where, like, the longer they were in close contact, they would sync up. And, like, if they were next to each other long enough, they would sync up and, like, do an animation and fight. It would look really cinematic and cool. Yeah, exactly, right? Sync kills between enemy units. And it'd be a way to server of, like, solving issues in regards to, like, having units, like, walk into each other and look weird. You can basically solve issues where, like, close combat shouldn't ever be a thing, because they essentially one person, like, immediately kills the other when they're in close combat. It's kind of like almost like a cheaty way of, like, hiding kind of janky or bad AI by being clever with it. Oh my god, it actually procced. Nice. Added to the kill feed. Though the RNG of pistol grenades, right, does feel kind of nice in the sense of, like, oh, it's a surprise every time you actually kill something. Alright, I need meds, which ain't... Like, honestly, too, I don't care about anything other than meds, really. Only meds. I've been getting lucky too. I haven't seen dog around these parts in a while. I wonder if, like, they did like a very, very small hotfix a while ago, right? I wonder if they changed a few things during that. It's like a few different bits in, right? But I've been running. I haven't ran. Yeah, mystery mate. I guess you can probably figure out what the mystery is. It feels like it. I've noticed too, right? Hold on. That's a come back. I've noticed too, though, that, like, it does feel weird occasionally. Like, I'll go, say, 10, 20, 30 raids without seeing a night variant, and then I'll get the night variant a few times in a row, or, like, very close together. Just like RNG computer numbers always do that, right? The weird streakiness. I'll take it, though. I wonder if it's because Gorilla doesn't hate me, or Irmak doesn't hate me right now. Alright, you ready for poppin'? Hello, everyone. Are you gonna move out? I want to rescue the civilians. There you go.
Not enough bullets.
This exo is so weird now. Yeah, go on your normal patrol route. CODs? And I'm pretty sure this exo is linked to this squad also, so, like, if we fight these guys, I'm pretty sure the exo will come back. It is, but it does that. I still want to rescue them. Sometimes, like, whenever you enter the mission too, it will just occasionally complete quests for you.
Tons of radio chatter in the sector. We should be cautious.
All right, time for curiosity. If I shoot one of these guys with the exo aggro, I missed. There we go. Try to pull them out.
End of us.
Oh wait, cyborgs. What are you calling for me for? Go fight your open friends. All right, the Exo's not taking a no for answer. It's rocking pretty good today.
Have to survive.
All right, there's the Exo. Oh, hello, Udies. And we are on a streak. I wonder if they fix it in the hot patch or just like maybe. I wonder if it like degrades over time. Be free, my children. Yeah, I mean, like when you're ever comparing. So the 40mm pistol is from a quest on the Europa faction called Aerial Scavenge. It basically involves getting Eurasian drone parts. It's pretty easy to do, but it counts as a pistol, so we dig him. It's kind of what we're trying to decide right now too. Like the one caveat is apparently you move faster with the drones or with the pistols. But like,
For now.
it's pretty common ammo. You can find a lot of 40mm, even off the vendors. You get like 48 per reset, probably somewhere around there. You get 24 off Grillo. I think you get 12 off Aramaki, and then you get a few more off Bunko, something like that. Every vendor sells it basically. It's hard to say. Like apparently you can move faster with them. I can't see an instance though where like you would bring a pistol on purpose. Like you're much better off with another weapon. The only thing you could possibly say, I guess, is weight. But being a weight, I don't know. It doesn't feel worth it to me. You're better off with like a utility weapon on your offhand than that, or like a get out of jail free card, right? Like the best thing you can do is if you want to play with like a rifle, and you want to like do something that may be aggressive, you just bring a shotgun in your backpack for like a bad moment, right? You don't need a lot of rounds for it. You can just, it's like a free get out of jail free card. I honestly think what they might need to end up doing is turning one of these. So it always sucks when you have to kind of not necessarily nerf it, well, in a way nerf, change things, and so people expect it to function a certain way, and because you change it, it's technically a nerf in some way, and people hate that because you feel like they're changing their play style, but sometimes it needs to happen. I kind of, where I'm going with this basically is I kind of feel like you might only, there should be a pistol slot, because otherwise there's not much use in bringing a pistol if you don't have a pistol slot. But maybe you also shouldn't have two primaries, at least not two primaries for free. So where I'm going with this is I would love to see maybe a scenario where you have a primary slot, a pistol slot, and then there's a rig component or a rig side, right? So say for example, right, where is it at? We have, where is it at? Did I not buy one? Let me go over to the vendor real quick. No, where's that then? I know. Did they take it out? No, it was buggy. Oh no, it's right here. Yeah, so like you have basically, right, an extra slot. So as opposed to carrying like three weapons, right? You have your primary, your pistol, and then you have a rig slot for an extra weapon or an extra primary if you want to brig one. And maybe it could be like a bit changed. So say for example, it could be only a 2-slotter. So as opposed to taking up the entire side this right side here, it could change too. I don't know. They could do a lot of things with the right and also make rigs more customizable. Or for example, too, you could have your primary, your secondary, and then you can have like a weapon slot here, and depending on what you want to bring, right, it might take up X amount of slots. So say if you want to bring like a heavy rifle, it can take up 3 slots. Or if you want to bring an SMG, it only takes up 1. Stuff like that. And now technically that would be a nerf, and it would feel bad for a bit, but I don't see a scenario where pistols ever get used outside of that, except for the M79. Like, the M79 is only used because it's the only access people like Scavgirl have to a grenade launcher. Which is why they use it, right? Alright. So we use that pistol. It is a flashlight, too. Though I could see instances, too, where, like, if you had, like, an offhand, perhaps, it can make sense for a pistol, though, too. So we saw, for example, in the Exo video, Exos have shields. If we, for example, had shields, too, I could see instances where pistols might be useful. Let's do it Enclave. And we're good. Try to have the big one too. Where are you? Five over to here. The ammo rigs. And then a little bit of 40 mil. Enclave, cemetery. Yeah, be careful whenever you go from like Mausoleum to Enclave. I have noticed that it will spawn you bunkers a lot when you switch over, so be very careful about that. I'm not sure if it happens elsewhere too, but I've definitely noticed from going from Mausoleum to Enclave, it will tend to change where you spawn into bunker. The hot shot. I don't think I know there's any enemies that actually use a pistol by default, though, too.
Every run tells a slightly different story.
Yeah, I mean, like, the way... It definitely feels like it needs to be, like, a sidearm, or... Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel proper in its current iteration. It doesn't feel like it's worth the effort to ever develop them. Outside of being, like, a guaranteed secondary. Alright, so I need to find... I see him right over there. Yeet. A little too high. That felt like it was right on him. That was definitely the grenade not proccing. There we go. Man, imagine mortars or artillery in this game. That's definitely something I think, like, if you've ever played Hell Let Loose, oh man, I want the artillery from Hell Let Loose in this game. It's so terrifying. Like, artillery strikes with proper sound design. Oh, you. This is why the game needs sync animations. Stuff like that will bring out, like, or make more serious players feel bad. You just saw Toothy walk over an Exo. So if you had like synced kills, like, so
We should be cautious.
Like Hell Let Loose is like Battlefield 2, right? You would call an artillery strike at a certain point, and it would call it in. Or you could do it. Well, there's out of maps artillery strikes, and there's in map artillery strikes. You can play as artillery and like operate howitzers with grids and so on and so forth. But the main one I'm talking about is the off-map ones, and like it's basically just smoke and sound and just terror. You basically just sit in a hole and you can't do anything because it's just the sound is deafening the entire time you're under the fire, and you can't see things. Dirt is flying everywhere. Like, if you haven't seen what Hell Let Loose looks like, an artillery strike, just pull it up and watch it because it's actually crazy. Okay. So, a big thing about this guy I've noticed, apparently, if you don't follow him out, he tends to, I think, despawn before he actually Well, that's okay. So let's let him loose. We'll give him one chance this time to see if he actually makes it out. Toothy. But like saturation artillery fire would like definitely take place in this game, I feel like, and it'd also be terrifying. Like delete everything in this particular grid. Toothy, can you leave me alone? So yeah, for example, he did not make it out. He did not make it out. He probably despawned. Thank you, Toothy. So we'll run the map back and we'll just like follow him out next time. Get in my belly. It does. I've actually been stomp killed too by an XO that went on top of the building. Is that a sniper rifle? It was. Oh yeah, missile effects too. Like right now, the Hind, for example, has missiles on it. You can't actually currently see it get used. Tell an idea. I wonder if we can become a space program, actually. Yeah, we have. Hold on. Are we going to space? Cyborgs being next to tanks will generally involve you becoming a space program, I think. They're trying. Send me to the moon, guys. See you, Smoke. Come on, you get it. Oh, no, no, no. Run! Go, T90, go! I can't see! Oh, it's shooting at me, I think. Just ran over a cyborg, I think. Oh, they're really fast when they want to be. Hold on. Why won't you proc the explosion damage? There we go. It wants to fly so bad. I can't shoot. Yeah, it was so chill. Alright, naturally we have to go back. I need to get my M79 back. Alright. We also need to follow the shifting tide guy out. It seems like the only way you can complete the quest is you actually follow him out. Alright, let's do a silenced USP. Let's not risk another M79 next. I only have one left for now. 9 mil, sure. It's enough for a Glock, and then 45 also. And then meds. Be over 2. We don't need a lot. And right back. You know what I want to see? I want to see those like paragliders from like Mad Max in this game. You just like have paraglides behind the T-90s.
Check your bones for breakage.
People were saying like you don't get it complete ever, but like we were in there for a while, on the map for a while. You might have just died too, but I've noticed the only time I've been able to complete it is like when I actually follow him the entire way out. Alright. I wonder how I got locked in here in the first place. I would love for them to add the ability to destroy doors, especially for enemy factions. All right, come here, you. Be free.
Patience is a virtue.
I think a bicycle for scavs would work only if it had like the little card inside the bike wheel to make it make constant noise. No, I think more cool stuff like that would be interesting, right? I could see instances too, right, where like imagine if you had like a bunch of zip lines all throughout the innards going to different tunnels, and you had like bicycles and stuff like that, or like other things along them to like show that like, you know, you have trade. That would be cool, actually. I will say too, if they ever wanted to go. But please no, I'm trying to escort a friend out. I don't have ammo for this. Are you? Sounds free. Like if there's actually other like innards you can contact instead of trade routes. If they wanted to go more into the civ route. All right, you walked into a minefield. Okay, you're free now. Let me get my my stuff back. No, but like I know we talked about I think either a stream or two ago about like multi-raid missions and like setting up either extra settlements or well, that was a gotcha, not my innards, my stuff. Like setting up extra like settlements or bases or like basically like fobs for you to use as like basically rallying points or just like extra bases a little bit. So like essentially if you had to like to travel different areas of the map, if it took multiple raids, it naturally would take a lot of time, so you would want areas in between those raids to like, you know, take a break or go do something else or like come back later. It'd be cool to upgrade those, and also be cool to like maybe have like trade or stuff like that, or things you could set up. So Quell, the only time I've been able to get this quest done is from like following him around. Like you have to like literally follow him out. I don't think I've ever seen it complete when I don't just follow him out. I think he just spawns before he leaves, and so he never actually gets out, but I don't know that for sure. You do follow him? I don't know, maybe it's just bugged then. It's very weird. I wonder if he still despawns though, maybe just like a setting, I guess. Okay. So, yeah, like say for example, if like the innards start over here, and we wanted to travel like to Scorched Enclave, we'd have to like maybe go through like Scrapyard, Mech Trench, Elephant Mausoleum, or we could go like go through Elephant Mausoleum. If like after or in between each map we had like little areas we could like kind of like if you ever played Baldur's Gate 3, right? Like the multiple camps in Baldur's Gate 3, sort of like that. Areas that aren't your main base but kind of are like fobs. Okay. Stalker 2, I've been playing it off stream quite a bit. I'm to keep it as spoiler free as possible, I am like maybe an hour after Duga. Which is I think just generic enough to like not give any hints away. in regards to spoilers. So I'm basically a little bit after Duga, going toward the Red Forest now. That should give you plenty of clues of where I'm at, if you're at where I'm at or past where I'm at. I think the problem with the game right now, it definitely feels like Stalker 2 doesn't have a life fully functional yet. It definitely feels like they shipped out the game without a life being functional, and so there's a bunch of weird quirky systems in place to make the game not feel empty without a life running. And if you're unfamiliar, right, a life is a system that Stalker 1 uses and now makes into Stalker 2, where essentially it keeps track of different people, entities around the map, and they're supposed to like actually live their life or do the thing that they want to do, as opposed to just be NPCs that spawn. And it doesn't feel functional right now in the game. There's plenty of enemies that just spawn near you, or like they're kind of, it feels like scripted sequences to keep you engaged. And this is kind of tying in my point right now. Stalker 2 feels a bit empty. And naturally, it's like this big like post-apocalyptic, like empty kind of it's supposed to be empty, but there's empty, and then there's like how Stalker 2 feels empty. It's not bad, but like I can definitely see if you don't vibe with running away, like running around to point A to point B to point C, it feels kind of like outside of running between points of interest, there doesn't the only thing that's the only things that happen between points of interest in Stalker 2 are like pretty heavily scripted, like spot-in sequences. It's very rare that you will actually see like an interesting dynamic event happen, or if ever, to be honest. But story-wise, I'm liking it so far. I'm still in the point 2 with Stalker 2 where I'm not fully enveloped in the story yet in regards to like all the stuff going on. I need to see the ending before I kind of how I feel. I'm not sure how I feel about the story yet. I probably need to see the ending first, because it's got me kind of questioning a few things. Yeah, loafing. I definitely noticed too, is like loafing that they mentioned also. They want to do more stuff like defending your innards or have more stuff interact with your innards and so on and so forth. I definitely think that's like interesting punishment too, right? If you piss off a faction enough, they might actually bother sending units down into the sewers to find you, which is cool. Like, you have done enough to actually draw the ire of a major faction. Here's your punishment. Oh yeah, Jay, like, I mean, don't worry. I bought into Stalker 2 realizing, like, it's just like Stalker 1. You don't buy into Stalker because it will be a pristine experience at the start. You buy it because it will eventually be one through mods, or through, yeah, mainly through mods. We just needed the sandbox from them. They gave us the sandbox, and so, trust me, people will fix it. I am not too stressed about that. Now, this will be interesting. I don't have a lot of ammo yet. I mean, I need to bring more, probably. Actually, we need to bring a bigger rig first. We need to get our big rig back. So we're going to Nexus. And Nexus is usually a pretty fighty map, but we're not pretty fighty considering our pistols. Like, we can do a bit, but, like, when push comes to shove, we're pretty inept, I think, at this point. Here, hold on, thank God. Yeah, Bob, if there is, like, lore reasons why everyone's not out and about, I could see that, too. I'll just have to see more, basically. I'll play through the game and figure it out. Like, after Duga, there's a pretty interesting, like, mission right after Duga, where you talk to some people and learn some things. So I'm like, I'm interested how that's gonna pan out. I'm kind of feeling like the everyone sucks here kind of vibe. Yes and no, Zombie. As we noticed, like, last raid, it was doing the thing where it wasn't proccing anymore, or proccing half the time. And generally speaking, I find that terrifying to like rely on a pistol that doesn't want to proc half the time when I need it to. I think having the flinch from continual fire with like a Glock will be better than just having the occasional, you know, grenade work. Yeah, I mean, I could see the occasional like mercenary, or like maybe like, I can't see the factions ever giving you a lot, because the big thing they mentioned with the game, when I kind of agree with them, right, is you shouldn't feel ever big in a game like this. You should feel small. And so more things that make you feel small and insignificant, the better. Like I know for right now we feel like that guy, but even in the instances where we feel like that guy, right, like we're killing cyborgs, these cyborgs are so expendable, Eurasia doesn't care about them. Like, remember, when you go to the graveyard version of Scorched Enclave, there's literally hundreds of thousands of them in those piles. If we're killing 40, 50, 100 at a time in these small little raids, I don't think they care. Like, and that's a good thing, right? It's like, oh, we feel like we're that guy because we're killing all these cyborgs. To Eurasia, it's just a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent to them. If that, like, they just would not care. Which is good, right? We should not feel like we're impacting a significant part of the war front. Well, you kind of do see that too, right? Bob, in a sense of too, like, when the more water you get, the more fulfilled. Right now it's pretty binary. Like, it only happens when you're super low on water. But like going from like, I think 2 to 3 water, you can kind of see the change. Of empty innards, or like having quite a few people around. God, the muzzle flash. No, it's bugged. Please, please, I choose peace. Yeah, nah, man, that's like, that's something they wanted to do too, right? Is they want to make you like be a spectator, but like not a participant, right? And like the only times where you're a participant is like mainly through collateral damage that spills over to you. And they're mentioning too, right? They want to make the world feel lived in, and like they want to show you instances, right, where things are changing. But they want to make sure you don't feel like you have a direct impact in the change of those things. Maybe a small like a shift in the wind, perhaps a little bit, but like not necessarily like you have a say in really what happens, at least not to a major extent. All right, these guys are not going to die very quickly, I can guarantee you that. Thankfully, I will say, we do have the variant at least, which is, hold on. Damn, you weren't supposed to turn around. Yeah, I don't think we can remotely kill the Ruskin guys in any regards of speed. Ow, what the hell just hit me? Thankfully, I reload super freaking quick at this thing. Hold on. Wait. Are you guys seeing this, by the way? Hold on. I shoot a pistol. Why do I have the shotgun animation right now for my pistol? So, like, look at my hands right now. I'll shoot once, and I'll hit the reload button. And that's how you reload a pistol in the Neverwinter. You just, like, move your Glock back ever so slightly. He just like takes the mag out for like a second, pops back in. Full magazine. Yeah, I could like see instances, right, of like factions hiring you to do like maybe things in the background behind lines and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know how you can, like, I would have to sit on it and think about it a lot to figure out how you both make the player feel unimpactful at the grander scale, but also make them feel like they're making real tangible progress in game when they're playing. And make them like, it makes them feel like they are doing something at least. It's a very thin line. Definitely we're good here. And we probably shouldn't be fighting anyone considering we're using pistols. So I don't think we one-shot Grim with this thing. It feels that way. Yeah, we definitely don't one-shot Grim with this thing. Grin are immune to 45 headshots. Got it. Yeah, that's one big thing too, right? Like, I can imagine... Like, it seems that... Considering the war-torn nature of this city, and the fact that, like, it definitely was originally in Europa's control before it got invaded, it kind of makes you feel like this has definitely been a battle here for a long time. And where I'm going with this essentially is, it feels like there's a pretty decently sized stalemate, at least as of right now, where none of the factions can get a leg up on each other. And I'm not sure if it's because of tactics or more just because the AIs don't really want someone to win. Like, this is almost the more 9 to 5 now, right? Like, the 9 to 5 is the warfare and the death and the economy of death, if you will. The organs, the bodies, the food, so on and so forth. So it just seems to be the new status quo, as opposed to something that needs to end for the AIs. They were designed to wage war, not end wars. And by winning the war, they end the war. So Eurasia and Euruska, the main thing is Europa has the home field advantage, at least here, right? Because we're almost assuredly, especially considering the latest Q&A, we're assuredly in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, Los Angeles. And like with them saying that we're on the west coast of the US and their Q&A, it's all but confirmed now. So we have home field advantage against Eurasia and Eurasia, or Europa does, which means logistically things are a lot closer for us than for them. It means we can get more troops to the front than they can. Now there are apparently there's warfare going off too in Europe. So like we're not the only conflict they have to consider too. There's also warfare in Europe also. This is probably just one front of the war. And I know like a big thing too, right, is Europa, out of all of the factions, Europa I think has the biggest population issue, at least as of right now. Eurasia, it mentions that they're getting there. Eurasia's having issues with population now because they've been doing so well with their agriculture, their post-apocalypse agriculture they're doing so well with. But even then, because of that boon, they're having more and more people they need to deal with. But I think by far Europa is still like the mass infantry faction for sure. But like that's kind of goes to the point too, right? It seems like no one wants the war to end, really, right? And a big thing about wars too is eventually you run out of manpower, you run out of resources. But like with these AI factories just continually pumping out stuff for the war effort, you never feel like you're under-equipped, right? And it's not like a human right. The AIs don't get war fatigue. They just do their job. And I would be surprised if anyone lives long enough to actually experience fatigue. And propaganda, right? The Homefront's probably getting tons of propaganda. All right. Pistoles time. Not really nappy. The only area nappy is the M79. Because the M79 is a grenade launcher. So, not all characters can use grenade launchers. But the solid off here is both a pistol and a grenade launcher. So if you can use pistols, you can use the M79. So for example, if we go over to like, for us, for example, we can't natively use a grenade launcher, but we can use the M79, which gives us a grenade launcher. All right. I guess let's use the Viper for a bit. It's gonna feel real bad, mainly because of the unsilenced nature of it. But we'll bring a silenced R8 for our backup. 357. And I'm feeling like a mech trench. We're gonna give the ability for this Viper to shine most. I mean, it does kind of have nice not centered irons, but they are nice. Yeah, 3D printing everywhere too, right? Let's go talk to you. Come on, give it to me. I guess this will work, actually. That's fine. So we want to go to mech trench, elevator, and we have meds. Alpha threat would be crazy with pistols. So many scramblers. You probably would be better off just mailing them, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, the grenade pistol feels great as long as it procs. Really just the caveat, right? Does it want to proc or not? All right, let's see if the Viper shines.
No heroes tonight.
Hopefully this doesn't break. Like, the worst spot about this room right here, it's really good for funneling guys, but if you can get flanked, it's not as good. Maybe. I also think too, right, going back to my cow video, we might have like got on the good side of the Rat King by offering him shit. I mean, like, that sounds meaty. Like I can definitely see a scenario too where the Rat King was like maybe still not, like, we could have repaired the Rat King or helped repair him or other things and so on and so forth. I definitely think, like, maybe we were the initiators in regards to the Rat King, perhaps. We gave him cow. And he really liked cow. And so he became our friend. Well, we did it. What did it cost? Basically all of our ammo. I will say, like, recoil-wise, it's pretty nice. At least in first person. Third person's god-awful. And it sounds nice, but yeah.
Won't be the end of us.
Yeah, I honestly feel like once they fix the iron sights on most of these guns, it's gonna be very different of how these guns feel. Like, that could just honestly be the thing pistols need the most out of everything, is not even their own slot, just fix iron sights. Or optics, whatever you want to call it. Either or. It's really just the worst thing about them right now. Like, I actually think with the like the headshot changes too, the R8 might actually feel pretty good. It's just a different 45. The problem is you just can't aim with it because, yes. Maybe zombie. Yeah, that's definitely there. We can look at the Rat King too. I mean, my current thought is that, like, considering the offering of cows, it feels like that has to play into the origin story, perhaps. It feels like it should. Like, what's the semblance of, like, offering him cows otherwise? Alright, and do. I will say too, in regards to mini games in games, I actually find this one to be pretty interesting. I think they may have made it a bit easier. Or I've just gotten used to it.
Peace through
Okay.
discovery.
Ow! I'm sorry. Well, it's more in the sense of, like, we'll have to see what they do with cows eventually. But, like, I'm curious on why cows are a thing in the first place, but also, why would you go through the effort of getting a cow from the skies and then offering it to the Rat King if it wasn't some part of, like, some barter or trade? Or, like, some, like, ritual, if you will. Alright, so let's, oh, we still need 100 killer parts. Whoops. Let me go back and get that 100 killer part. Forgot we had that quest out. Ah, yes, the railings of Stellidium. Ow, 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 hey.
We have to survive.
Yeah, there's one. Maybe Bob. I don't know that, but maybe. It makes sense to motivate troops. Though I also feel like if you're promising your troops 4 days of no water, doesn't that kill the soldier? I also think too, I don't mind Bloom. It just feels a bit aggressive at the moment. The amount of bloom some of these guns have. They always get stuck there. Hey. No, come back. Let me destroy your kneecap. There we go. No room. I need to drop something. Let's drop you. No, leave me alone. I'm trying to loot. I'm sorry I didn't use a silence gun. It's not my fault. I can't shoot them. They're immune. Why are you immune to bullets? Why can't I shoot you? That's not. Alright, we're good. Yeah, I know, like, too, right? Hey, boo-boo. Or not no, but, like, I feel like, too, considering Europa's, like, vast overpopulation, it wouldn't be hard to get troops to conscript or sign up. With the promise of, like, food or housing or water and so on and so forth. And so far, yeah, it's all been functional, right? As long as you're playing with the corners, like, it's slower than, like, using an M4 or using a shotgun, but, like, it's still quite possible. If they rework weight a lot to make gun weights matter a ton, I could see pistols being useful without having to deal with, or having a pistol slot. All right. We haven't done cemetery yet, so I'm pretty sure it means we have to do cemetery now. But I imagine we'll be doing some shooting too, so let's not do tunnel vision, I guess. I wonder also, hold on, let's do this actually. Let's take Bringer in. We're gonna do Bringer in, but we're also gonna do Rust in Peace. Now, I doubt they've considered this, right? I'm just really curious if we can actually get a pilot drop from the EXO down in the sewers. Which means we need to bring a 779 with us. Capacity, sprint speed. Look at us go. We're gonna be so fast. So we're gonna want M79. And we definitely, probably doesn't matter to be honest, but we're bringing 9mm. Basically SMG. Go over to Grillo. Refresh all around. I need to sell some things to him. I'm sorry I murdered some troops. There we go. Buy our 40mm. Set all the 40mm. There we go. And then Aramaki. And then Bungo. That could be a thing too, yeah. If they're like, if you get food back home for your family, if you go off to war. Little do they know you become the food. Oh man, that's terrifying. Probably don't need that many rounds. It's gonna like, yeah, 30's perfectly fine. Make sure we bring a jump, because the jump's the best part about this map. And cemetery time. Hey, we're on the right region, right? Yeah, pipes. Just don't ever spawn not at pipes in this map. Pipes is the only good spawn.
Life finds a way, even here.
I've read to bring meds, but hopefully we don't need them. Okay, the door is open, which is unfortunate. No enemies there, weirdly enough. Who's a good boy? Not you. I fucking hate you. If you die. You're adopted dog. Anyway. So that door is open. The only way we can see the door from up here. We get on there. So what I'm basically trying to do is I'm trying to see what doors are open or closed over here, because it can kind of influence what route I want to take. Generally, if that door is closed, I feel quite happy with going through that door down there. But I think what we're going to do here is we're trying to go through here and close this door on the dog. But I'm not sure. I don't see any sparks or yellowness, so hopefully we can close this door. But no meds kind of sucks, don't lie. We can find meds though. As long as that door is closable, we should be okay. I don't hear the dog anymore. Here he comes. Probably too, right? Or like they were I imagine the thing, right? Like they were never programmed to try and end the war. They were just programmed to try to win the war. Like I imagine, right, when you're designing the AI like that, you're like your idea is like make the best AI I can to win the war, and like when we want peace we can just shut it off or ignore it. Though with the nuclear war, all of those higher ups, so those people got eliminated from the nukes, and so we just basically had these rampant AIs who were never had a shut off really, or their shut off was supposed to be external. Their only goal was to like win the war, not necessarily end the war. And when you have a massive stalemate like this, like you probably would only ever have peace. Why are you broken? Okay, we're good. So, let me get out of this room area quickly. Okay, so the dog is technically locked in that other side of the room now, or this other, the thing now. It can't essentially get to us anymore. It can occasionally just teleport out though, but that's a separate issue entirely. There we go, med. We're gonna close this door too, because there's guys up here. And I can imagine too, right? Like the areas that like they could take over or conglomerate or like basically annex, they've already have, because like, you know, Euraska is like the Slavic slates plus Africa, and then you have Eurasia, which is like all of Eurasia. Then you have Europa, which is Western Europe, and then plus Western Europe plus America, not South America. So like any of the smaller countries that could have been annexed, they were probably. They actually probably did a pretty decent amount of damage to that thing. Let me find meds first before I fight it. I mean, wine is meds, but not in a way I currently would like. There we go, that's huge. We have 2 medkits. That's probably enough to kill the Exo. Those doors I cannot close. I kind of find it hard to believe too this Exo down here is definitely piloted. It probably will still drop a pilot, I imagine, but like, this is so deep, far behind enemy lines. Like, how is this Exo self-sustaining? There they go. Yeah, Exo. We pulled their Euruskins into them. It can, yeah. The dogs are behind the door. Oh, really? Just like run in, kill the Exo, and then leave? It'd be cool too, right? Like, actually, like, they can make bring her in actually kind of hard to do. Because imagine having to, like actually kill the Exo without having to, like, use grenades or splash damage, right? So, like, because the Exo's pilot is so exposed to, like, definitely explosive damage, it'd be interesting if, like, that was a gimmick of bring her in. Is you had to disable the mech via, like, not explosive means. I feel like I should get credit for that. I shot it once. Ow. Pilot? We see no pilot.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
No pilot this time, it looks like. Yeah, yeah. Like, this makes sense, right? When you actually are rescuing her from the Euruskins. I can't see the fire. Gotta get down. Oh, this place is getting actually kind of hot. Let's skedaddle. Let's run it back and try to get the pallet again. I will say too, I feel like this is definitely one of the maps where, like, there should be some, like, mutated wildlife on too, right? Like, if there's definitely a place where some wildlife could survive, it'd be down here.
Savor it.
Some mutant frogs. Or turtles. Maybe the turtles could have, like, katanas and stuff. Like, scrap katanas. Perhaps these turtles could be, like, stealthy too. Like, almost like if they were like they wore, like, you know, black outfits, like almost like ninjas. Exactly, Sid. Exactly. All right. Let's run it back. Do my jump again. Where are you? And we're good. Ridiculous. I mean, there's definitely going to be some mutants down here, right? At the very least, some mutant people. Some, like, cyberpsychosis cyborgs. It would be cool, like, for, yeah, small factions like that, like, in regards to, like, freed cyborgs, if you will. Like, imagine if there was, like, a faction of, like, freed cyborgs who would go out and free their brothers and sisterhood. Alright, now we can close that door. Okay, there's definitely a green light when we can close the door. And considering how far away it is now, I'm definitely it can actually go out there for sure.
There are too many signals nearby. We
Are
should
there?
not open fire.
I shouldn't? Now, unfortunately, I think the M40 or the Thumper does consider itself to be like a non-silent device. So they will aggro to me, including the dog, if I use it. And you generally don't want to aggro the dog on this part. Where'd the dog fucking go? There, here it comes. So I think the plan is we're going to drop down, take some damage, and then we're going to sprint to the door and close it in front of these Yurskin guys. What did dog do it? And dog is currently being menacing. Hey guys. Womp womp. Yeah, I'm really happy those guys don't have the dexterity to open doors. It's quite nice. Okay, they're coming this way. Let's give them a second to pass. I really do not want to fight Yurskin infantry with only a pistol. Thankfully, the officer only has an RPD and not a grenade launcher. You don't usually come in this room. You don't usually come in this room. And there they go. Oh no, not really. Just avoiding patrols. I'm not very fond of fighting Russians with a Glock. There you go. Alright. Okay, we can close all the doors off, which is huge. Make sure that door is closed too. Lock off all the Ruskins into their little compartments. Or they can come in, either or.
Until you look.
Please go the other way. Thank you. Alright, time to close this door. Really? That door made noise. That's weird. So, like, last patch, they changed not all doors make noise now. That's interesting. It's usually only the very large doors that make noise. Huh, curious. Alright. Time to find our exo friend. Are they... They're in the hallway. Our book over here? Not there. I guess they count as medium doors. They're small size. I guess they count as medium doors. It has to be, right? The large doors still do make noise, but like these doors shouldn't, or they... A lot of them don't. Where's the exo at? Doesn't usually come over here. All right, pilot.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
Pilot. Pilot. Yeah. Well, what if they just de-aggregate? They can't get up here, can they? Wait, did they despawn? I think they despawned. Yeah, you're... No pilot yet. I feel so unlucky. Just the raging inferno. Oh, officer. Alright, up we go. Get our loot. Yeah, unfortunately, no pilot 2 times in a row. Yeah, the good old, like, fast-firing grenade launcher. Shoots so... And actually, I think outside the RPM... Like, I think the RPM is higher than most other grenade launchers. It's just the reload speed. But the reload speed is already really freaking fast. Like, the XM25 goes quicker, but, like, the regular grenade launcher, not by that much. Some really fast reload speeds. Alright. Let's see if the book's here. I didn't actually check. No book. No, 1 out of 3. Take those. And I can imagine too, right? Imagine some like fish mutants also, or leeches. Oh man, that'd be so. That makes sense actually, considering the sewers. Some leeches, some like mutated leeches, considering all the meat and the blood that probably flows into the sewers here.
Freedom.
Cyber leeches.
Underground.
They could be like little traps too. You can see like them wriggling around in the water. If it's supposed to be the horror map, I mean, it makes sense, right? The fear of water, or the fear of like things in the water. Hey, who knows too? Like, we're in Los Angeles, right? Maybe there's some sharks in the sewers. Maybe they got stuck here during the nuclear winter. Some shark sewers. Or sewer shock. That's so hard to say. Sewer sharks. There we go. Alright, We haven't done Mace it a bit. I actually, we know what we need to do. Sharknado, yeah. We haven't actually done our normal farm with a pistol yet. So I feel like we're definitely gonna need a flashlight on this. Can you have a flashlight? You can't. At least not with this upper assembly. Nope, neither can have a flashlight. And having a flashlight is probably important for this. Unfortunately, you only get a silencer, right? Yeah. We might actually run the target here instead then. Maybe the C96 though? We do get 10 rounds. Yeah, I guess we're probably need to run the target actually for the flashlight plus silencer. And I imagine we'll get a sawed-off shotgun eventually for a pistol. I can see that happening. For offhand, we probably just want something that's going to be good for like a Glock for just suppressive fire. And all we need is 9mm. Lots and lots of 9mm. Some meds. We just want to kill... Be on quests to kill cyborgs. Yeah, that is true actually, Rodney. I forgot about that. Yeah, toothy drones. Very fair. They have kind of shown those recycling drones. Yeah, that could easily be it too. Like herds of those little drones. Or more like creatures like that to like recycle and, you know, ferry organic material back to things. Let's take streets so that we can use the extract to leave. All right.
Our choices matter for those.
So we're off to go to the carrier farm. I'm curious how it feels with pistols. Yeah, honestly, like, not even close. Masked Man has the best animation. It like, Masked Man's animation is so freaking quick. Like, Scav Girls and Shamans are cool and all, and so is back. Like, all of the animations are cool, but Masked Man's being so quick. Oh man. Waddle, 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 waddle. Alright, no XO. I might have done, I need to probably do Old Man. I haven't done Old Man in a while. But I can't recall if I've ever seen his stealth kill animation. Alright. It was the same? Okay. That's unfortunate.
Nothing to be done. They must be.
Hey, it's good because Masked Man's great, but like, recycled. Where's the Eurasians at? They're usually down here. Yep, that's a there's a lot of them. I'm so torn. Because either I can use the third person aiming and actually see, but get visual shake, or I can not get visual shake, but can't see what I'm shooting. Make sure the Glock's on full auto too. No, that's burst. That's awful. Yeah, that's semi. There we go. We'll probably have to go over the Glock for this. I want to be able to see with this though, but we might become like tunnel camping. So we'll go over to the Glock and then just in the tunnel. Though unfortunately, maybe should have brought an unsilenced gun though. Makes it a bit easier. I haven't like felt anything different entirely so far in pistols. The only thing is that like with the headshot multiplier changes, like the R8 does feel redeemable now. Like before the R8 was a meme, but like it can actually headshot things and kill them consistently like the 45s can, which is a nice contrast. The 9mm are like really only good if you have like the Glock right and you can shoot a ton of bullets pretty quickly. There's definitely some pistols though where I'm just not sure if they have a good use case. But like if it's supposed to be a progression, like, you know, this is like your base pistol, this is the better version of that, so on and so forth, that's fine. But like right now there's not really progression in the pistols. I'm still unsure with how weight currently works. If pistols can really exist in their current state without a dedicated slot. It would be interesting from a planning perspective. So I mentioned this earlier, right? But like give pistols their own slot, only have one primary slot, and then if you want a secondary primary weapon, perhaps make that a rig item. So if you want the extra utility of bringing a secondary primary in, make there be some opportunity cost with a rig upgrade or a rig slot. And it would allow for like different rigs too, and so on and so forth, more differentiation, so on that. I think they currently strike a good balance of like not requiring too much effort to get back into raid from dying. And I don't think having a little bit more planning would be all that detrimental, but if you'll feel different, let me know, because I'm curious. It's like, that's a big pain point in like games like Tarkov, for example, right? Where there's like so many different things you need to consider when you're going into raid. It can take a while to re-equip yourself to go into raid. This game is pretty easy about that. You only need a few items to go back into raid. Just like meds, ammo, guns, and we're good. But it would be interesting if they added like one or two more questions, right? In the sense of, do you want only one or two primaries? Do you want a pistol and a primary, or two primaries and a pistol? Do you want to have like a full loot goblin rig, or do you want to have a rig that gives you the ability to bring extra weapons in the game? Oh, for sure, game shift. Yeah, 100%. Like they right now they have done a good job of making sure they don't go too draconian with like mechanics and how the game feels, considering all of the bugs and how all of the jankiness.
A day well spent.
But like right now too, I would say like on the loadout screen itself, there's not a lot of questions you really ask yourself when it comes to the loadout screen. Or there's no choices to consider or contemplate really. I still need a picture too. And we're definitely already full considering we're only probably shaman. Yeah, and like if they wanted to go more in depth with it too, they could do systems right where like, say for example, if the right side of your rig, your 3 right slots were always like your dedicated like weapon area slots, the ones you want to bring into raid, and like you could make compromises where, you know, say for example, let's just go back at a raid and we'll just show it a little bit easier. Yeah, Rod, 100%. Like they struck a good balance on the guards. The game is jank, but like once you get used to the game, it's not all that punishing, so you don't have to feel too bad about it. Let's drop a few things with a picture. Here we go. No, I definitely agree. Like they have made sure that they weren't too punishing or difficult on the game. Like difficulty wise, the game is fine right now considering a lot of difficulties in the jank. I want to hide. I don't want to fight drones with this pistols anymore. Oh, it's not drones. It's just these guys. Perfect. Oh, no. I don't mind how weight currently works. It's just an option in regards to how you can balance guns. I kind of think, like, from playing some realism mod in Tarkov, SVT Tarkov, and like, there's a point between like realism mod in Tarkov and regular Tarkov where I think it starts a good balance. Like Tarkov is a bit too arcadey, and then realism is a bit too hardcore. I want the it's almost like the squad, right? Like squad is not uber realistic, but it's pretty realistic. The second something feels so immersive, it feels obnoxious is where I usually draw the line. And that's usually how weight goes in the more hardcore systems. Tarkov strikes a decent balance with it. Stalker is a bit too draconian. Like, the thing about Stalker, right, in regards to its weight mechanics, is the hubs are few and far between, and all of the loot and things weigh a ton, and they're also very far away. So you typically, like, and there's no ways of mitigating that really, unless you want to pop like what 500 Hercules pills and stuff like that. I don't know. There's a lot of Stalker 2 has its issues, but like I'm not really fond of the weight mechanic in Stalker with how much of a pain it is to go out and back and out and back and out and back and out and back. There's a lot of dead time, and if it felt like maybe the dead time was more interesting in regards to things happening, it'd be different, but a lot of dead times is like sprinting, chugging an energy potion or energy drink, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so going over to our rigs. So right now you have basically, you have a 9 square grid for your rigs. Some are like it's different depending on the rig size. They're a bit changed here and there, but for the most part, like the max you can have is 9 for rig slots, right? And so right now the way it works is the sides are always dedicated weapon slot things. The left side usually defaults for picking up weapons and so on and so forth, or large items that are unwieldy. Then you have your empty slots for large items too. The way I would kind of want to see it, if I was to personally do it, and I'm not sure if it's a good system or not, but it's just an idea. Oh, someone joined a squad, didn't realize that. Is these 3 items over here being kind of variable, and so like naturally, like the anti-tank rifles, right, are really, really big, and they couldn't fit in one of these slots. They would probably require all 3. But if you wanted your secondary primary to be like only like a rifle or only an SMG, it'll only take like 1 or 2 of these slots. So essentially you would have trade-offs, right? Like say for example, I want to bring a secondary primary in that's, you know, not that big. It only takes up a little bit of your slots. And that could be a way to like reinforce SMGs, right? Or other guns like that. You just have like variable amount of slots that take on your backpack and so on and so forth. I don't know, stuff like that. I would have to think out more than that, but just like there's a lot of room there in regards to like choices people have to make. that seems interesting to at least me. Rodden, that's perfectly fair, right? I do agree with that kind of sentiment in regards to that, like, junk should be plentiful. It should be like the things you need to find to the jump. Let's go ahead and ban that. All right, goodbye. Why would I buy viewers? What does that do for me? Twitch just hits different sometimes. Anyway. I have never actually done King of Kings, because I always like get like 19 out of 20. I was like, I don't want to do this again. Let's see here. I do think, I mentioned this before too, Rod and Meat, like there's a very much a big lack of like high risk, high reward areas for like nice quality loot. None of the maps feel to have those areas. Like the biggest one I could think of is like the mech trench, the locked door in mech trench with all the meds. Not mech trench, sorry, Alpha Mausoleum with all of the meds. Like that's like the biggest area I can think of, high risk, high reward, and that area does feel cool for it, right? Like without that door, that trench line would probably feel pretty kind of but with the door it feels like a nice, like a compromise, right? It's like, oh, there's a bunch of nice med containers behind this door, but I have to get to the door, open it, and hopefully not get smacked in the back of the head with a dog. Oh, speaking of that, let's just Alpha Mausoleum then. Quests. There's one. But like naturally too, like things like progression and questing and stuff like that is probably like on the later docket. Like get a good foundation first. And like it definitely seems like too they know also, like they've mentioned this a few times, they want to make sure they don't rush things and build the proper framework to support things in the future, which is very wise. They're trying to make sure they don't fall for the fallacy of a lot of these games, right, where they rush and because of that in the future they have spaghetti code that's unmaintainable and it slows them down vastly. If they take their time to create modular systems and modular, you know, things they can just build on top of, it's not going to only help the games, it help modders in the future too, right? Like that's a big thing. When you make the game easier for modders, it's going to make the game do better in the long run. Even well past like you know, start developing the game, if they ever do. All right, full Glock. We're doing Mausoleum. I guess we probably should have the M79 just as a backup. Just in case, we'll bring a few rounds. Like 12 is plenty. I don't think I'm going to be killing anything there. Med-wise, yeah, 5 and 5. So let's actually maybe not do as many. I'm a bit torn. I both like it and dislike it at the same time. I like the feel of it. I think the functionality is lacking in a lot of regards of the UI. I don't know, I can't pin down exactly the words to say it, but the in-game UI just pulls me out of the immersion a little bit. Like the game feels vastly different from when you're playing with no UI in game and with a UI in game. And there's probably not a lot of good ways of doing that, but like the only thing I think is maybe like Dead Space, which I mentioned 100 times before, but you know, Dead Space is the king of UI.
Our deeds are
but like I cannot stress this enough how much different this feels from with the UI. And like I'm not saying even the UI is invasive. It doesn't feel like it's invasive, right? It's not like a Ubisoft game, but still it just like it's just enough to throw off the ambiance. It's weird. It feels like it shouldn't, but it does. At least for me. Yep. It's going well, Pixel. I don't think we've learned anything from this, but, you know, well, the only thing I said I would learn so far is that, like, the R8's not bad anymore. It's probably better than, like, the Viper. If I had the choice between bringing a Viper or bringing an R8, I would probably bring an R8 because it can be silenced. Like, I would probably say, like, the R8's no longer the worst pistol in the game. Yeah, I know some people like it. I'm pretty torn on the whole, like, now, if, like, okay. Oh, hey, dog. Been a while. Yeah, let's go. No, the USB, the SOG is fine for 45, like, going up from the SOG to like the USB is perfectly fine. The USB is good though. USB is basically SOG with a silencer. Maybe I need to find a unit to actually highlight this a bit. Hold on, let's go up top. So let's go find something to highlight. So yeah, like this targeting, I don't mind that really at all, but like the additional on top of that to like confirm kills, I mean, it's a bit weird. I don't mind like the targets giving you an idea of how many targets you have, right? I think this is okay. This is a nice thing of showing it in game as opposed to showing it on the HUD. And maybe like they can make it too where like the Z does more stuff than that too, but like, so hold on, let's kill someone real quick. Nothing actually. Usually tells us more too than when we kill someone, right? Oh, showing me nothing right now. Weird. Usually if you kill someone and you have the target over, it will say some things too, right? Hold on, let's try this. No, nothing actually. Does it only show up when I kill something with the HUD on? My poor FPS, I never does well in these fields. This field is like the true FPS test of this map. It is always so brutal. But yeah, right, they have the good kill and so on, so there. Yeah. Like, I guess it does make sense if it's like the drone feeding you the information, if there's a drone above us, but I don't know. But yeah, like if we, let's go over to here, be a good sign. I don't know, it just feels different from going from like this, yep, to this, right? If it had some more opacity, I think the biggest thing too is that like it's not at the very edges of the screen also. It's pretty much in the main field of view. I think the big thing too is opacity. If I could change the opacity of it, I would probably be pretty happy. If I could like drop down the opacity, that's like GameChip, that's exactly what I did. The only thing on the UI I have on for Stalker 2 is the health area in the bottom left, and I want to say, I think that's like really only the main thing. Maybe it's something in the top left, perhaps too. Oh, the quest pops up occasionally too, but yeah, the only really thing I have on, I think, is the compass, and then the health UI, and I have it like on like the lowest possible opacity where I could still see it. It still gets in the way sometimes. Like, I can actually, like, thankfully ignore it with the opacity. Yeah, I mean, like, if I could shift it around the way I wanted to, but, like, the main thing is probably opacity. If I could just...
They are sending their best. We don't have much time.
That's the wrong one. And personally, in my like my favorite world, I would have just like the Dead Space UI, but I know that's probably not possible in all consideration because it would probably require like everything to be reworked. He went around the corner over there. Yeah, like that's the saving grace, right? Is the dog always has pathing issues down here. The dog can rarely ever actually properly path. In most scenarios, it's why like the dog was always a joke before Cemetery, because the dog could never actually hurt you for the most part, or it couldn't hurt you consistently enough to get you to the point where you might actually die from the one shot, because you could heal before it would get back to you. But now with the 2K one shot, it'd be a bit different now. Alright, we are good here. I still need to kill some Europans. Don't come back! I wasn't done! Come on, boy.
Our main threat is closing the distance.
Who's a good boy? Are you, is he running from me? Come back. Ow, ow, hey, dog. It bit me.
Tier 1 units on the way. They don't look happy.
This pipe is fake. Where do you come from? Why is this pipe solid? Oh man, FPS. Oh, I guess it's supposed to feed into this? Okay, I guess that makes sense. Fake pipes, yeah. The pipes aren't real. Ow. So it actually, hold on. If you didn't know that zombie, that's an artillery emplacement. It just has a mech operating it. It's such a large artillery emplacement. It's got a mech operating it as opposed to something else. So imagine that, right? So like, as opposed to needing a vehicle, you can actually design artillery systems to just use a mech instead to shift them around and move them. So like, it's an in-place cannon, but with the ability to be moved by a mech, I guess. Hold on, reloading. But yeah, it's also a big cannon too. Like this is like a... That's gotta be like a 300 millimeter, like 240 at the least. Maybe that like a round or something like that too. It can make sense to like that. Maybe that moves the round around though. It wouldn't make a lot of sense with the sharp turn there, but it could be a way of moving rounds around. That's something I will say too. It's not really on the mechs right now. There's not really a lot of consideration given to the mechs on how they store ammo at all. They just kind of have infinite ammo. It would be cool though to like if mechs actually had limited ammo to like have a reason for them to have melee weapons, right? Hey Dyer. Hold on, I need to fix this. Ow, that, okay, that, okay. Alright, that worked. I wasn't gonna Glock them, but then I saw the guy had a grenade launcher. I got really scared real quick. Well, it makes sense, right? When you're like dealing with those giant mechs that like the AKs and the scars they use, right, have to like only have like maybe 10, 20 shots at most before they're out. And the scars might only have 5. They're pretty small magazines on those scars. So if they don't carry reloads, it would make sense, right, for them to like have bayonets, melee weapons, or just, you know, I think the medium mech in the trailer, right, has one too. The medium mech's like fighting the grabbers, right, and I think he has a bayonet on a gun. All right, that's everyone. We're good to go. Time to leave.
And now, home again.
So the Uruscan mech has a backpack. I don't want to spoil too many things yet because I'm still working on it, but I think it might be its reactor, or its power plant, or its fuel source. So it's almost assuredly true that the Uruscan medium mech is probably using a bioreactor or like a biofuel source, sort of like Toothy. While Toothy can probably create his own fuel on demand for like operation forever, it seems that like it makes sense that if you look at the backpack of the medium mechs for Eurusca, they always have a few dead Europans on them tied up. So I imagine like maybe it's their protocol to like pick up a few bodies, carry them back to like base, and use them as fuel for the next mission. But it definitely looks like the backpack is like a reactor or fuel source. It could be too that if the Uruscan medium mech, it's definitely not full flesh. Like the limbs on the medium mech for Eurusca definitely do not seem to be. If there's biology in them, it's very little, and it's probably only nerves, for like electricity, like electric signals. But like the only really meaty parts are probably the torso and the head. But I could see instances, right, where maybe it's not pure biofuel, or if it is biofuel, the metabolism of the person inside has been changed to actually accept that as a food source. Yeah, as opposed to like the European medium or the European mechs, like the medium mech for Eurusca takes a very human shape, and a lot of the joints and a lot of the different parts are very much human biology or human mechanics inspired. The only stark contrast being kind of the head, which has kind of like the shaman thing going on, right? But with eyes, with like kind of like fly eyes. All right, pistoles. Let's go over to the R8 for a bit. What map though, actually? Hold on here. I might have a different idea. I need to see that quickly. Vendors. Or try it load out. So which one of you could have a scope? I know a few of you can. Oh no, this is not a scope. Yeah, it's just the assembly has a red dot on it. It's not actually a scope. You can carry one. I didn't realize I have found my new best toy. It's beautiful. Can any other pistol do that? I think this gets a rail eventually, but it's not close. Yeah, so maybe we aren't rocking the R8 actually. I have better ideas now. Well, I'm not sure if they're better ideas actually. They're just ideas. I don't know if they're good or not. We'll have to find out. We can manually cycle, it's no big deal. We can find a way. Life will find a way. Same thing, by the way, you saw once again going from Mausoleum over to Scorched Enclave. Once again resets our spawn point over to Bunker for some reason. Really weird, but happens. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
A new opportunity.
So let's trigger the spawns. We see 2D pop in and we know the spawns have happened. Alright. Oh, Rat King. No, Rat King's gonna die! Alright. I have bad news, yeah. Toothy just demolishes poor Rat King. But it's not a fair fight. Alright, where are you? And Medium X for your Uska too? That's just not fair. Rat King, run! Run! But yeah, apparently that's a fungus, allegedly. That's wrapped with a tarp. I thought it was just like loot and shit, but yeah, I'm not entirely sold. Oh, we'll see. Where is... Oh. The Pyro? Wait, Pyro. Come on. Need to get a better shot. Wait, wait, what? Am I that misaligned? It could be, I guess. Hold on. I did hit something. I am hitting... Oh, I'm hitting high to the left. I'm hitting high. High to the left. It's not bullet... It's inverse bullet drop. Commander? Where's the commander? There he is. There we go. Yeah, it's high to the left. Wait, can I shoot them in air? Hold on, no. I can shoot grenades in air? No, but maybe I can't. Okay, so I'm sorry. I felt like I shot one midair. I just got kill stolen by Toothy. Toothy just stole my kill. Also poor. He's dead. Fuck you, Toothy. Nah, but like, yeah, you have the backpack there. It looks like a reactor, like a fuel source of some kind. You have the AK, which actually has a pretty decently sized mag, right? So it can pop a few shots off. But like limb-wise, it's all pretty human, right? The only thing that's really weird is the head. I see a sniper. I know this is like a quirk of UE5, I think, the animation LOD. I kind of hate. I don't know what it's about with animation LODs. They really throw me off. Like, if there was one thing I would want to never compromise on, it'd be the animation LODs. I'm not sure. I have no idea of how performance heavy they are. It just throws me off every time I see one. Like, I would scale back most settings before I consider scaling back the animation quality or like the speed. Ow, ow, what the hell? Interesting. High and to the left. Ow. Yeah, pop-ins do too, for sure. That's 100%. Pop-ins are, really, I feel like, more like a bug than anything else, but like LODs is like more by design, right? Like the pop-ins is by accident, but the LODs seem to be more, it's like an actual thing that just happens to be a setting in the game. They almost like sound human too, right? They make like very like, or they sound very interesting. They make a lot of weird noises, right? Hello. Also, hold on. I'm gonna probably die here if I want to trigger this. Like, look, you hear that sound effect? It sounds like someone's like kind of doing like a war cry as they try to melee you. Whoa, 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 whoa. You are not fully aggroed, sir. Wait, where the... Wait, what? Okay, there it is. I was like, I just saw a tank get changed this place. Alright, out we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A lot of close calls this run. No quests done.
Make your peace before the next journey.
And actually, I think it's the war skirt is actually probably pretty important too. So like, unlike, it's weird. I'll need to figure out how this works too. I have no idea how it would work. Honestly, I'm actually kind of sold on the sniper rifle. Need to run it back though. Yeah, to help take out like shape charges and stuff like that, or just like help things that are like going for, basically, yeah, mess up things that, you know, destroy things in impact. All right, let's do another one, just one more. Now we know where to aim, and the big thing is too, I want to make sure I get credit for these these quests. Jump. Or medkits. We'll bring in some bad medkits too. Yeah, it's mainly just, yeah, armor for the legs, or more importantly, armor for the waist. Fair, Mr. Grooves.
No heroes tonight.
I'm not even sure if they would have a gender, to be honest. I'm kind of like vibing with the fact that they're grown. Like they're grown just to be like basically like a meat human. That's probably like born to have like no legs, no maybe some arms, but like mainly just like a socket for things. Electrical impulse. Basically like a literally like a Grimdarkier dreadnought. Does the bullet disappear after a while? Where my bullet's going? There we go. Oh, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Hold on. Where do you all know where I'm shooting from immediately? Back to the sniper rifle. Maybe like EVA mech though, like a space mech or EVA mech. Yeah, fill me in. I'm curious. While I snipe with my pistol. I fell down. I fell down. This is not good. This is not good. Oh wait, they despawn. We're good actually. We hit the despawn trigger. The zombie. They're not robots, but more like big humans that are piloted. Sort of like that, I imagine, for this mech, right? Like it's more of just like a big human that's been like, it's so like Yoruska, right? It's always just a fusion between by biology and technology, or basically flesh and steel. So I'm pretty sure like the torso and the head are mainly human. Like the way I see it, right, is I think the at the current moment, before I look into it more, I think the Euruscan medium mechs are mainly, they start out being grown. I don't think that, like, you know, I don't think you become a mech pilot without some degree of like a lot of changes when you're a child or younger. And so they basically grow them, and they might accelerate it too, right? Might be accelerated growth. But you basically grow this person in the exact shape you want them to be in for this mech. And then you basically, I don't think they have human arms anymore. They might have human elements in their arms. They might start out with that. But I definitely think it's like a grown human who was basically just kind of molded into the shape of this carapace. Yeah, there's that. And then like has basically armor placed on top of them. Niche, this is live, so there's no fast forward. Unfortunately, you cannot speed up the future of the present. Basically, yeah. I can see like basically a little pop of like the nerves and like maybe some meat bits here and there. Basically things that trigger reflexes or movements inside the like the external parts of it. Have we seen Pyro yet? He can be in a few spots, actually. Good find Pyro. He can be over here. He might also just be dead already. But the limbs for the medium mech do seem to be mainly just full mechanical in nature. Though I'm not sure how, like, the joints or movement are powered yet. Like, it's very clear in regards to, like, the medium mech for Europa, because it's all hydraulics. But you don't really see that. I guess it could be just interior hydraulics. Yeah, crab. Aren't crabs, like, super fucking old, though? Like, millions of years old. You know, pyro. Same thing with the crocodiles and alligators, right? And they have a pretty like hard exterior shell too, crocs and alligators. All right, there's like one more spot where pyro might be. Wait, does here pyro? No. Might be over here. Oh, he's probably dead. Oh yeah, makes sense, yeah. Grab. Is he shooting? Oh no, he's shooting, okay. I found it weird too, right? How all of these, like, I can understand for like maybe balancing and maybe not. All of the weapons for like the mechs and the tanks. I think tanks are pretty fast, but the mechs shooting really slow projectile weapons are really weird. I don't know how Mother Courage produced though. Like. Like, Eurasia is weird.
Still alive. For now.
Like, so Eruska seems to want to fuse the best parts of, like, or Eruska wants to fuse them together, but Eurasia mainly seems to be much more about just taking the only things they absolutely need. Hey, Daniel. Like, it's hard to find the exact differentiation between Eurasia and Eruska. It seems like Eruska leans much more into like practical biomechanics, and Eurasia leans much more into the weird. I can see Eruska having artificial muscles inside too. Like, the medium mechs for Eruska are very weird. Again, if you saw it earlier, right, they're like, for example, right, they will just have a regular knee joint, like the swivel movement for a knee joint. But like, you know how the knee, right, for example, has a bunch of muscles around the knee to facilitate using that joint. You just see the knee itself on the mech. Like, for us humans, right, we have a bunch of tendons and muscles around our knee to help facilitate the movement of that. We have, like, the tendons, too, and, like, you know, the hamstring to start pull and push and so on and so forth to actually facilitate the movement of the knee. You don't really see that on the legs of the Eruska medium mech. So it means that, like, any movement needs to be done internally. And that kind of feels like it pushes toward hydraulics again. Even if it's more... like, when I say hydraulics too, it could still be hydraulics, but much more biological in nature. It could just be non-traditional hydraulics, right? It could be like a muscle, right? Or like muscles pushing fluids or so on and so forth. They do have some meaty thighs, I will say. Let's do another mesa. They can spawn a mesa if we can see a few of them. Let's go over to the R8, because I know we had fun with our sniper scope, but it's time for the R8. And we'll bring no grenade launcher. Actually, we'll use the A7 target as our sniper rifle. We'll only bring like 100 rounds, and we'll use mainly the R8 this time. Perfect. Quest-wise, just do no quest. Let's just explore around a bit. So it's hard to trigger them, right? You're talking about the big units too. I try to get Pyro to do a sync animation, doesn't seem to do it. I think the Orgamech has one. I'm not sure. Like, the main thing with the sync kills is seems to be getting them to actually do them. It seems like even if, for example, like you get below a certain HP threshold, they won't always do them. So I haven't been able to trigger the Orgamech. I haven't been able to trigger... I've gotten both of Mother Courages. I haven't gotten Toothies yet either, actually. I know Toothies exist, but I haven't gotten it yet. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because what I'll try to do is I'll get low enough HP and try to trigger it on purpose. And it doesn't always do it. Like, for example, the Orgamech will still occasionally do its slam attack instead of trying to, you know, murder you. Ow, 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 ow. It looks like they have eyes too. I know the T90 has one of these, right? But does it usually always have two of these? I guess it would make sense to cover the full arc in front of it. The IR block. Maybe for Bixel. I haven't given it that much thought. I could see that being the case, right? It could also be like, I could see like, right, in a sense, maybe it's accelerated growth too. It would make kind of explain like the toddler mentality. Oh wait, hold on. We actually do have medium X for rescue here. Do we have a flashlight still? I do. Perfect. Let's go with say hello. Ow, that hurt. To the medium mech. So I think he's mainly an Orgamech, right? I don't think Orgamechs are dumb per se. They're just basically brutes. Whoa, do not accidentally kill me. No, but this is what happens, right? Like, you have basically CQB with these things. There's a lot going on right now. He might be modified in a bit, right? Where his like eyes have been replaced with this. I can see that. All right. I have noticed too, by the way, that Yoruska medium mechs get fucking shredded by Europans. Like, they lost that fight squarely. And it's been like reoccurring too when I've watched this in different games also. Like it just seems consistently like that Yoruska medium mechs get bodied by Europas. But no, I feel like so like we have, I guess it has a tendon like right, maybe that could be the tendon, I guess. But if you look at the look at it right, we have, oh, we have it right there actually. It's a piston. It's hydraulics. Mid-air too. No, but we have that knee joint there, and you can actually see it had the tendon, the hamstring tendon right behind it, right? Or the fake hamstring, I guess, to pull it in. Just the mid-air one shot. Thankfully, not all was lost. We only lost 87 target and an R8. No biggie. Honestly, not even time for the C96. We haven't used the C96 in a while. I'll have to look around more for some other joints also. It could just be to the like a lot of the other joints too are pretty well hidden. So they might have just knew that and not modeled them on purpose to save polygons, which does make sense. Yeah, R8. Where are you at, R8? Oh, I need to buy an R8. I feel terrible for doing this. Actually, let me try the R8 without the silencer. We'll do a no silencer right now. I want to see if the sights are actually pretty good without a silencer. And for this, we're going to go and do the classic mech trench. Yeah, no, the med kits are always my... I never have med kits. For good reason. I always use them. Or lose them, rather. Alright, that's the only quest I care about for this. So the reason why I like plug pull a lot is because it will spawn 3 elite European troopers that will always head up the stairs and start your ability to do like an aggro train. Without that, you need to go pull them or so on and so forth. It makes it really convenient to pull the entire room when you just have the elite guys there. And weirdly enough too, they actually also drop M4s. So if you're doing some weird run where you don't want to buy weapons, that's a consistent way of getting M4s. We're gonna have to see how accurate this is. I don't have high hope. All right, thank God. Now this won't one-shot the elites to the head no matter what anyway, but like I'm just curious if we can hit a headshot with it. Though I'm not even sure where to aim though, considering how like misaligned this feels. Just try here. Nope. Oh, so you want to aim at the top of the post. It looks like it. It feels a bit more random than that, to be honest. Are you elites or just soldiers? There we go. It depends. So the elite soldiers don't always one-shot headshot. So there's a few different units, right? Now, a lot of the time, the hitbox, like, it's hard to tell with the bloom. And there's, like, not a lot of feedback on exactly where we're hitting. So I can tell you right now, we definitely do one-shot headshot the regular troopers. The elites, we don't. But a lot of the time, it's just the bloom and just not being able to like tell exactly where we're aiming consistently because of the sights look fucking jank as shit. Of like that basically too. And because also their arms get in the way pretty quickly, like pretty easily. It's weird. Their posturing, like it's a lot of different things moving on. Like let's go find these guys down here. At least you're at right angle too. And 45 will one-shot too, but 9mm doesn't. 9mm will basically, we tried against cyborgs earlier today too. 9mm does not one-shot anything to the head now. Which is fine, because, you know, the bullets like the bush shot, right? The bullet hoses don't really need to. Yeah, so like when they do like, so like if you shoot one of them right, like you have to get the first shot on them basically, because the second you don't get the first shot, their arms do the whole like flying thingy and will immediately block off their headed box. Food. Is anyone feeling hungry? Salivating? Starved? Famished? You know what they need? So like if you didn't know, you can change out the videos and the innards pretty easily. I want more of those. I would 100% put like an Arby's commercial in this room. If there's a screen anywhere. It's like right there we hit his arm. But yeah, it's a one-shot headshot. It's just hard to be consistent with it, considering you have to like you have to aim, but you also have to mentally adjust of where like the malarkey of like aiming in this game is. All right, let's turn on the meat grinder. It could use a bit more squishing sounds, that's the only thing I'll say. We need some more squish. Pretty full. I'm pretty close. The cubes. The forever cubes. I'm so surprised this map went from in progress to completed and the cubes are still here. No night variant. We still have cubes. I don't think we one-shot them at all. Alright, we'll get them eventually. It is, yeah. I just found it interesting how it went from like in progress to being like completed quotation marks. Like I think they wanted to make sure they like didn't have two in progress maps. I think it's fine if it's just considered still in progress. You can just see them shaking around too. It's like the stagger mechanic also doing it. Like the weird movements around everywhere. It literally displaces their head. I am out of meds. I probably do have meds on me though, actually. Hold on. No, yeah, pretzels at least. Okay, that works. I will accept the pretzels. All right, there's the EOD. I mean, it's not bad as long as you're fighting like one-on-one for the most part, and fighting infantry squads. The 9mm actually does feel worse now. Like, definitely this gun over an unsilenced 9mm. Q and E. Q and E. And then you can do it in third person also, it's just a bit janky. So for third person, you have to actually lean in first, and then you need to do it outside of that. So I don't know why they don't let you to do it. They don't let you do it while you're aiming down sights in third person, but like if you hit Alt, then Q or E, and then come back out, you'll actually still be leaning. Yeah, it can be useful for hiding most of your body behind cover. It can kind of, though, exacerbate a bit the, like, aiming issue. In regards to crosshairs, but it's not too bad. Hello. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who has no free will? Hey! There's the HKs. Oh, it's 3 now? Did they escalate? Oh, just regular 2 EODs. Okay, and then 100 killer. Alright, time to leave.
Remember.
Yeah, honestly, outside the Glock, I would probably say, so outside the Glock and maybe the 87 target that can have it 4 times. Yeah, if you can't silence your 9mm, it's kind of it might be F tier now as opposed to like the R8. Like right now, I'm feeling like the worst pistol in the game is probably the Baba Yaga, the Viper. Though, no, actually, it might be the C96. The handling of the Baba Yaga isn't actually that bad. If we go over to the guns here, the pistols, like S tier for pistols is probably still the Glock and the USP, and then like A tier is the M79. If they fix the weird issue with the M79 in regards to the grenades not always exploding, it would probably be S tier. But like, it's really only a gun you bring in when you want a grenade launcher and you can't equip one. It's literally just a discount grenade launcher, so it feels weird placing it in S tier for pistols when it's really not a pistol. It's more of a stopgap for characters who can't get access to a grenade launcher. The Glock is basically a pocket SMG, though the third-person recoil and the muzzle flash is just so egregious, it's so hard to use, but still, like, in regards to, in comparison to all of the other pistols, like, probably the Glock and the USP. USP because it gives me silence and it actually can one-shot headshot consistently, and then the Glock just for firepower. It's literally a pistol SMG. In, like, B tier, probably the A7 target. And the SOG is probably fine considering it's 45. It's literally probably like the lowest tier pistol for 45 that should be in the game, but like it's nice because it has 45 and it's 200 damage. And like basically after that, it's just the remnants, right? It's basically the unusables like the C96 and then the Viper, right? The Viper's biggest sin is it can't use a silencer. But I'd probably put the Viper in C and put the C96 in D. Like, the C96 might actually just be the worst pistol now, unfortunately. 10 rounds, and then, it does get, like, a rail for optics, I think, eventually, and a flashlight. But 10 rounds of 9mm, it doesn't have great handling, I don't know. They're pretty comparable, but still. And that's the big thing, right? It's like, it honestly, it breaks it down into 2 cams. Either you're basically usable or you're not. I don't know, it feels weird still. I'm not sure if I'm entirely sold. It's hard to do, let's bring out the SOG actually. And the Viper. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be like the SOG feels better because it's a one-shot headshot in most instances, but we'll see. Eisenberg. And like at no point I've been like, oh, I really want to run this over a rifle or a shotgun. And like the only exception to that being is basically the M79 in regards to like, oh, I need a grenade launcher and a character that can't use a grenade launcher. And I'm not sure if that utility by itself warrants it being like S tier. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think just the caveat of it being grenade launcher available for non-characters who can't use grenade launchers like Scav Girl warrants it to be like an amazing pistol, because it's not really a pistol. It's more just a way for characters who can't use a grenade launcher to get one. Oh. Sure, why not? They joined when I was literally going in. Also, those thumbnails are weird. I have bad news for them. I'm using a pistol. I guess we get to experience the joys of pistols in 3-person groups.
The surface provides options.
Did they not get anything equipped, by the way, too? I think they joined when I was like actually joining. I guess we have some friends then. I don't think they have good weapons at all. All right, so this shouldn't one-shot the guy in the very front here. Here he comes. I don't know. Oh, this is Baba Yaga. Honestly, this might be a B. Like, the handling is actually surprisingly consistent for this thing. Unlike most of the pistols, it might actually be like a B. They both feel pretty good, actually. Just the no silencer aspect to them. I think the biggest selling point of the Viper right now is it actually has pretty good iron sights. That's not usually the case for most guns. I mean, yeah, between no recoil, like, okay, I'm torn. On one side, it probably actually weirdly is the best handling pistol, but it's 9mm and unsuppressed. Like, out of everything, let me use the SMG a bit more. Out of everything so far, it feels quite good. Any more ammo? It's actually... I'm unsure. I'm conflicted too, right? Because, like, in practice, because of how bad the irons on the R8 are, relatively to this, it feels like this is way better than the R8, but the R8 can be silenced. I think it's random, but I think it's more dependent on the size of your group too. I think when you have bigger groups, you're much more likely to get a much more scary or intimidating HK. I think it's mainly group sizes. Though some maps like this, I don't think we can get grabbers on because it's an only Europa map mainly. I mean, this is not bad, but the only problem, right, is with this is the irons are a bit less aligned than the Baba Yaga. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, just ever so slightly. Did I see grenade launcher? Oh, there's a mech over there. I did not see. I have never seen 2 medium mechs on this map. It could be the three people could help me too. But yeah, I've never seen more than 1 person on this map. Very interesting. Womp womp. I didn't even see that one over there. He's got hit in the back of the head with a freaking big one. I don't know, so Baba Yaga versus... I return? No, I gotta wait for them. Can I spectate? There we go. It was kind of hugging the wall. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm unsure. The Baba Yaga, like, it feels pretty good. The unsilenced aspect, though, is such a death sentence sometimes. Like on a pure feeling level, I would honestly feel pretty okay with placing it in like A or S tier. It's just it offers no utility in like the detachment department, right? If you could silence that that pistol and still use its irons, it would like immediately be S tier, right? It just feels good to use. I want to try out more. All right, pistols. Pistoles. Let me use a non-meme 87 target to see how it feels though too, in comparison. Did I use irons also? Let's use irons also. Let's get a good idea. I think the only problem is the cans do block the iron. We'll try it out without an iron. I want to see how it compares to the Baba Yaga. Maybe we'll just bring the Baba Yaga too, just in case. Both 9mm, yeah. Oh, did they leave? They both left. Womp womp. To be fair, they join me running around shooting with a pistol. I don't blame them for leaving. Why is he aggroing everything? I'm trying out the pistols. Alright, so let's go, let's run it back. Same exact place and reason. I'm mainly just trying to get a template of two of like, is the Viper just, does the Viper feel that much better, or is it mainly just the silencer blocking your optics make it feel that bad?
That familiar sound.
So this is,
Remember it well.
so yeah, this is the Viper. The muzzle flash on both is terrible, but all right, let's see. All right, this is not a good instance to actually only have. Please let me close you. Oh fuck, this is not gonna be good. This broke. All right, let's start with the D7 target first then. We might die here. We'll probably die here actually, to be honest. Okay, big thing I'm noticing so far is the same kind of thing, where it's like a little bit below the irons and where it's landing. That was pretty good. So you need to like basically aim at the base of the irons. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah. Not being able to close that door without a silencer. And that's why I'm hesitant to write, say, for example, like, you can use a pistol without a silencer. Yeah, not being able to close that door is always a death sentence. Those guys always come behind you. Very sad. Yeah. It feels really good. The Viper feels really good, just doesn't feel usable with the current. Oh yeah, for sure. He's leaning on doors so much. No, yeah, I'm pretty confident in the sense, like, you just need to have a silencer if you ever, like, I mean, it could be two, it's a sidearm. You're using a sidearm when you already are in a fight. But without aggro currently works too. You don't really want to bring more to the fight without a silencer. Oh, meds. Maybe it should be like 2 tier lists, right? 1 tier list for silencers, 1 tier list for not silencers. Or 1 tier list considering silencers. Like, maybe that should be a thing too. Maybe it should be like a tier list with a caveat that, like, hey, by the way, unsilenced guns are fucking terrible to use. But it would just be a... it'd be a scenario where it's just you're talking about which guns have silencers or not otherwise. Oh, that actually one shot's an, was that an elite? Was that was M4? That might have been an elite one headshot. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Wait, if the 45 can one-shot headshot elites and not the 357 Magnum, hold on. So the big thing is elites are not one-shot headshots with some guns, but they are some with others, but alright, so we need to get like an actual good headshot you. I have to make sure I hit the headshot though too. Don't mind me, just... See, not a headshot. I think it is a one-shot headshot kill for this thing. It's gonna hit the head, which is hard to do with this thing. Yeah, it's just so hard to aim. Oh. I'll do more testing later, but it definitely feels like the 45 will one-shot headshot elites, and the 357 won't. Which is good to know. Time to go turn on the meat grinder. Yeah, the ADS is a total pain on all pistols right now. Like, and that's the thing that's like pushing me toward like giving the Baba Yaga, the Viper, a bigger grade. Is just because like out of all of the pistols so far, it actually has pretty usable irons. I guess the big thing here is, right, find the best pistol that actually has a silencer and optics that can actually be used. And I guess that's the 87 target, really? Like whether the pistol actually gets access to a silencer and optics that can actually make it be used. And it's not great. I guess the Glock does too, right? Well, like the Glocks almost are dedicated S tier anyway, because it's basically an SMG. But like the USP and the R8, like they can be silenced, but aiming with them is such a pain in the ass. And then like it would be different too, but the problem I have with the third person mode also is like it's not bad on the USP actually. It's really just bad on the Glock. The third person shit can be bad at times. Wait, what? Also, with the Blooming third person also, you usually can't rely on like third person headshots all that consistently as you just saw. Like, I definitely feel, weirdly enough, that my, like, the least functional pistol, the Baba Yaga, because of the no mods, also feels like the best. Alright, time to leave, because we are out of meds. Okay. Just climbing on air.
Freedom found underground.
All right, let's see around with the Glock. Like, as of right now, yeah, the RA and just the USP. Like, the USP is fine, but the problem is, like, with silencers, it's a real trade-off, right? Like, if you have silencers, you can't use the irons. If you have if you don't have a silencer, though, you aggro the entire map every time you shoot. Very, very serious trade-off. The Glock. Let me bring a non-meme A7 target to see how it feels with an optic. And we'll bring those. And feeling like some Mesa. Let's just do a no-quest Mesa. Spawn City Ruins. Let's actually spawn... Let's be weird. Let's spawn Bunker. I never spawn Bunker. The big thing I want to see too is like, so the 87 target didn't feel usable with irons and a silencer, but maybe it feels more usable with a optic and a silencer.
Our choices matter for those below.
That's a pretty high dot. That's not remotely centered. Let us see. The drone is a bad test. Can't hit drones consistently anyway. There's usually some guys down here actually to the right. Like right down here, there's sometimes guys. There they are. Alright, do you hit the head? You do not. You hit the head. I mean, if you get used to it, it kind of hits the head. This is a bad spot to be in. Did I not silence this? I might not silence with accident. It doesn't feel silenced to me. Yeah, the hole. I almost got inside the safety hole. Did I not silence it? I might have forgot to silence it. It's not terrible with an optic on it though. With a silencer and an optic. And by the way, that's why I don't spawn bunker. There's so many drones at poker, my god. So many units and dies. Okay. Did I not have a silencer on you? I guess I didn't. That would explain why everything was trying to murder me. Alright. Though, I just lost all of my ammo for the Glock. No, I just bought all of it. That's unfortunate. I can't actually use a pistol now because it's all 9mm. I have to go to 45. Or 357. No. My test is ruined. I imagine it feels the same way though. So like 87 target plus silencer. If Glock is an S, 87 target's an A. And then maybe the B tier is like for all the pistols that have silencers but are kind of so like the USP, the R8. And then like the Baba Yaga, the Viper could maybe be A tier, just with the caveat that's not silenced. Out of all the pistols I've used today, weirdly enough, where are you? Like, it has actually felt like the funnest pistol to use. It has a high enough rate of fire when you click fast, very little recoil, and its irons are pretty accurate, that it feels good. So Daniel, we're about to stop too, actually, so. Because I just lost all my 9mm ammo. So we're almost at the end here. I'm trying to figure out, yeah. Pistols, they don't have much use case right now, but like, honestly, if you wanted to have a cool pistol that feels like really nice, the Viper actually feels pretty good. Out of all of these pistols, the Viper I had the most fun using. The rest of the pistols have a flaw other than just the silencer, right? Or like, if they have a silencer, they have some other fatal flaw. But considering the Viper doesn't have a silencer, I still actually like it the most. It felt fun to use. Every other pistol has some weird quirk that just detracts from it, but the Viper's only flaw is the lack of a silencer. Everything else feels great. And weirdly enough too, if like, they should maybe even look at the Baba Yaga, the Viper they have in game, because it feels like the most tuned, honestly, too, in regards to how it feels and how it plays. But yeah, alright. That's it for everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again Wednesday. New video, hopefully out sometime this week, probably later in the week, like Friday, Saturday. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later, hopefully for a patch. If there's a patch on a weird day, I will be streaming that day. Just might be a little bit later, but we'll see. Alright, bye all.